Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everybody. I'm going to come in really, really quick. I am back from the Bahamas. If you are watching me for the first time and you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Rashana Smith. I am a purpose coach. I am a mentor. I am a soon to be author. Y'all wait until you hear all of the information about that. I own a virtual school of healing, clarity, and purpose. I'm a prophetess. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 4 beautiful daughters. I'm just excited about life in general. If you guys can, as soon as you come in, say hello. Let us know what state you're tuning in from or what side of the country you're tuning in from. I met people from all over the world. So soon you're going to see some of my Bahama friends that I met watching me. I'm so excited. I'm just amazed at what God has done. And so I want to thank each and every one of you guys for the anniversary wishes. This past week we made 24 years married, 27 years together, and we actually went on a cruise to the Bahamas, and that's my first cruise. But anyway, it was amazing. Hello, as you guys are coming in, it was amazing. I'm gonna try to stay focused. I'm not gonna be on here but for a few minutes. Many of you are watching my stories, and then I stopped sharing my stories, and it's because I wanted to be present in the moment. I realized that even in the midst of me being so excited, God had me on assignment there for a couple of people. And so it was just exciting to just know that I was positioned even on vacation to impact the people that God had sent me to the Bahamas to impact, from people from Texas, people that lived in the Bahamas. I got to pray while I was over there with some people. I got to minister to some people. Aha moments came, for some people, and it was just amazing. And I got to relax and go to a place I've never been before. It actually was one of those things that several years ago, if you read my post, I actually made a vision board goal that I was going to go to the Bahamas before I stopped educating. And so, many of you know that teachers don't get paid enough. We work more than school hours, and a lot of times teachers have to get a second job. And so I've seen my counterparts, my peers, educate and do everything they can. But if they wanted to go on vacation, or if they wanted to do extra things, they had to sell paparazzi jewelry, or they had to, some of them worked as waitresses on the weekends. You would be amazed at some of the educators that actually have a second job. And so I knew I didn't want that for my life. And so I was just tired of being in this place. I just wanted to change my life. And I said, Lord, I enjoy what I do to some extent, but I feel like I know this is not where I'm supposed to be positioned. And so in the midst of me waiting for things to align, I kept wanting. And so I want you guys to know, just really, really quick, when I went on vacation, it was to my amazement that I wanted to go on vacation to the Bahamas as a vision board goal in 2019. And I expected to return to work during that time. But God made it to where when I surrendered to the process, when I surrendered to purpose, which is a posture, God allowed me not only to go to the Bahamas, but me not to be on a schedule. So I actually could have stayed in the Bahamas and worked. And I did work a little bit while I was on vacation, because my career, my purpose actually allows me to work remotely. I don't have to be in a specific place. And that was the beauty of what God has done in my life. And I truly believe that as we continue to wait, we're going to continue to want. You have another plan, you have another blueprint, you have another vision of what you want in life. And it's like you're waiting on somebody to help you get to that place. And I'm telling you, you're not waiting on anyone else but you. You have to realize that the person you're waiting on is you. You're not waiting on someone to save you. You're not waiting on someone to give you a key. You're not waiting on someone to give you a blueprint of what they did. God is waiting on you to surrender to purpose. And so I realized that even while I was at sea, and I was sitting on the balcony just watching the waves go by, God was able to speak to me about waiting. And he said, people that continue to wait continue to want. That's why he says we walk by faith and not by sight. He says faith without works is dead. And so if you continue to wait, you're going to continue to want. What are you going to continue to want? You're going to want the life that you want, that you desire, you see in your vision. You're going to be waiting because you're going to continue to want it, because it's not going to be in your hands. You're not going to live it. And so I want to encourage those of you that are watching me today. Make sure that you're not waiting on someone, because the someone you're probably waiting on is you. It's the person that God is calling to be courageous and brave. And we all know that when we get a certain portion of our identity, also clarity and purpose and courage and confidence comes with that. I was on my way back driving from Miami, and I was just having a conversation with my husband, and I was telling him about how I no longer tolerate relationships that take me back to places of hurt, that take me back to places where I feel inferior. And so I was telling him, I said, many times people don't understand that healing is the very first part of identity, because our identity is actually buried underneath trauma, pain, bad experience, and mistakes. It's underneath the rejection. It's underneath all of those things. So your true identity, who you truly are, is underneath all of that. And if you don't do the work, you never really discover who you are. And so when I realized who I was, and I pulled the layers back, and I did the work, and I faced my past, and I took the sting out of it, and I took away the shame, and I faced things that were on top of my identity, no one could take me backwards. Nobody could take me back to that place where I felt inferior. I'm talking about family members, old friends. I realized that I didn't want to reconnect with people that made me feel that way that I felt in the past. And you have to realize that you're continuing to wait is going to continue to make you want, right? And so I just wanted to share really quick that when we look at our lives and where we're going, nothing's going to change unless we decide to take some steps. Nothing's going to change unless you decide that you want your mindset to change. Nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change until you decide that where you are is going to be the last time. This time right here is going to be the last time that you're here. Cindy Trim said, this is the brokest I'll ever be in my life. And I think even in today's terms, we talk about where we want to be and where we want to go. You have to say within yourself, this is the last time that I'm going to be in this place. I'm not going to be in this place a month from now, a week from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. You have to decide that what you see in your vision, what God has shown you, what you dream about, what you feel is in your spirit, what you know you're supposed to do, your true identity, you're going to go after it. And so I want to encourage those of you that understand and know your waiting is only going to keep you wanting. I want you to go after your identity. I want you to go after her. I want you to go after him with everything you got, because let me tell you something. It's not until you get in a posture where you begin to say yes more than you say no. Now, what does that mean? When you're coming into purpose, you've got to learn to say yes more than you say no. You've got to turn your no's into yeses. And most of the no's that we have in our life come from us. They come from us saying, no, that's not going to work. No, I can't do that. No, that's out of my reach. No, I'm not able. I can't pay for that. No, I can't live that dream. Most of the no's that we live out come from us. And so you have to learn to take your no's and turn your no's into yeses. Yes, I can. Yes, this can be done. Yes, I can live this. Yes, God has a greater plan for me. Yes, I can go here. Yes, I can do this. Yes, God has a better life for me. Yes, I can afford this. Yes, I can live there. Yes, I can live this life. Yes, I can be in this relationship. You have to, you're looking for someone else to turn their yeses, their no's into yeses. But how about if you turn your no's, what you tell yourself no about, into yeses? You have to learn that even in your own power, you have 90% of the power to change your own life. 90% of what you need to change your life is in your own power. 90% of what you need to change your life is in your own power. And so you have to turn your no's. I'm not talking about the no's that people give you. You have to turn your no's of what you told yourself no for, what you told yourself no to, what you told yourself no that you can't do. You have to turn your no's into yeses. You have to. You have to. And you have to stop waiting, because waiting equals wanting. If I continue to wait, I would never be where I am. If I continue to put on false faces, because this is the trick to purpose. And I feel like I need to share this to my purpose group, to the purpose circle. Purpose is so connected to your yes. It's not connected to your no's. Your purpose, the posture, God's will for your life, why you were created, the reason why you exist, the reason why you're here, who you're supposed to impact and influence. Your purpose is connected to your yes. And until we say yes, God's not going to allow us to walk in purpose. And let me tell you why. Because purpose is all about stair-steppers. Now, what do I mean about stair-steppers? Purpose is a stairway. Purpose is not something you arrive at. It's not something that you get to this place like I went to the Bahamas and, oh, now I'm happy. Everything is just euphoric. Everything's provided for me. I don't have any struggles. I don't have any trials. I don't have any tribulations. The word says, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation, knowing that the trying of your faith worketh patience. And so I realized that I was in purpose even when I was in a valley. Because guess what? In purpose, God does not allow you to skip steps. I feel like I'm going to be on here for about 5 more minutes because I can't. Purpose is not a destination. When the scripture says that the good man's steps are ordered by the Lord, he's talking about a man and a woman that walks in purpose. And just because our steps are ordered by the Lord means that purpose will work integrity and character in you. Therefore, God will not allow you to skip steps. And so what purpose does, purpose even in your valley and your trials and tribulations, you're in purpose. Why? Because God is actually putting you in a place that you're going to need later so that you can prevail and that you can prosper. And so I realized that even in my darkest times, the scripture says that God dwells in a dark cloud. Even in my darkest times, there was times that I was supposed to be there. I was in purpose. I wasn't outside of purpose because I didn't have a pocket full of money. I was actually in purpose because God was trying to make sure that my steps were ordered. Somebody's getting this. God was trying to make sure that I didn't skip any steps. And so he says, guess what? If you're going to walk in purpose, you're going to need this, this, and this. And if you keep skipping steps, guess what? You're going back down to the beginning. You're going back down to the front. So some of you are wondering, why can't I get to the top of the steps when I'm climbing stairs or when I'm working out and I'm doing stadiums? Come on. If I'm doing stadiums and I'm trying to get to the top and you keep skipping steps and you keep trying to jump over steps and your trainer keeps telling you, go back, you missed a step. No. You got to put your foot on every step. That step's got to know you've been there. You got to make your impact. You got to get it on that level. You got to make sure that, listen, who you say you are, you truly are. Your identity is in that stage. It's in that step. It's in that place. It's in that process. God will not allow us to skip processes in purpose. I'm telling you, I'm a living witness. Let me tell you something. That's the reason why I tell women that's 45 and 50 and 60, listen, baby, you can come into your prime because guess what? There's a lot of people that think they walking and living in purpose and they haven't found their prime yet because they're still identifying and validating themselves according to man's standards, according to the world. But the word says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do not conform to this world. So guess what? The world says that your prime is in your 20s and in your 30s. But the word says that when I tap into purpose, I live my prime and it never ends. It never ends. You know why? Because I've tapped into the place that God has ordered my footsteps. And because they're ordered by the Lord, I walk in purpose. And even if I go through a valley experience, even if I go through trials, even if I miss, even if I lose, I win. Even if God has to shave off some people from me, even if I have to go through something, loss, I'm still in purpose. Do you realize when we had to sell our house? It wasn't up for foreclosure. But do you realize when I had to sell my house, I was in purpose? And as soon as that house was sold, purpose unfolded. My God, listen, even when the dream house, the house that I had in the country in Louisiana, when I had to sell that house, I was in purpose because God was putting me in a place where he was working something in me that could not have been worked unless I sold that house and went to that place. There was faith that was built in me that I have now that was necessary in that place where I had to sell that house to where I wouldn't have been able to get it unless I went through that thing. So for those of you that say, I lost some things, that couldn't have been God's purpose for my life. Yes, it was. If God made you better, if God shaped you, if God strengthened you, if God polished you, if God gave you more integrity, if God gave you more power, if you got in your prayer closet and understood your identity and you folded back layers and you came into who you was and identity showed up in that place, you were in purpose. You were in purpose. Y'all, you're in purpose. But you have to let your yeses outweigh your no's. You have to let your faith outweigh your doubts. And you have to say no to the old man. And you have to say yes to the new man. A woman and a man that thinks differently. The scripture says that so a man thinking in his heart, so is he. And so I came on to inspire you guys really quick because I gotta get ready for some things coming up. Thank you guys, all of you, for the anniversary wishes. Thank you guys so much for the shout outs, the texts, the gifts. Thank you so much from me and my husband. I love you guys. I appreciate it. But you know, the best gift you could give me is if you start saying yes to purpose. My assignment, my mandate, my protocol, my prophetic protocol. And you know, a lot of people I know, they're wondering, how can she do some of the stuff she does now that she didn't even do in her 20s? And it's because I know who I am. It's because I know who I am. I know my identity. And I know what comes along with my mantle. And my mantle comes along with freedom. My mantle comes along with power, authority, even over religious spirits, even over spirits that try to box you in. And so when you look at your life right now, are you saying yes to purpose? Because purpose is the dare, it's a dream, and it's the driver. I don't have time to go into all of that, but I want you guys to know that I'm thankful. I'm thankful for all of you. And I wanted to come on really, really quick just to give you this nugget because I couldn't go live in the Bahamas. I was afraid that first the internet would act up on me. And also wanted to just kind of enjoy my time and reset. And the Lord reset me in that place. He recalibrated me because I was in need of a new place, a deeper place of identity. I was in, and I don't know if you guys can understand this. Every so often, every now and then, you just need to reset. You need to recalibrate. You need to really open yourself up and say, is this me? Is this the next step to get me where I want to be? If it's not, you're going to have to turn it up a notch. If it's not, you're going to have to make some new choices. If it's not, you're going to have to make some decisions and get some new yeses in your spirit. You're going to have to say yes to some new things. You're going to have to say yes to some things that maybe you said no to before. The only way you're going to walk in purpose is if you don't try to skip steps, because we serve a God of order. And so while I was sitting there on the boat, I was just sitting there taking notes, and the Lord was just speaking to me, y'all. I'm telling you, the Lord was just speaking to me. he was speaking to me, and I was like, I want to share this. And he was like, nope, just reset. Just reset. I'm learning that there's so much value in reset and recalibration and really understanding what God means when he says something. And when I say what God means, when God gives me a prophetic word or a rhema word, I was in that place and I thought, God, that's good. That's good. But God was saying, but I need you to understand what this word is meant for, who is meant for, and when you're supposed to release it. So y'all, I have notes and things that I'm going to do as a result of me going on that cruise on vacation, because God has reset me. But it was so powerful because he told me, he said, you need to not hear me. You need to not just hear me. You need to understand me. You need to understand what I mean when I say this and what this word is meant for and who it's meant for and where I want it to go. Okay? So I want to get on really, really quick and tell you guys, stop waiting. Because when you continue to wait, you continue to want. You can't get what you want until you say yes, and until you decide to do life different. Okay? I love you guys. Have a great, great Saturday. Call to Clarity is coming up. I'm excited about the women that are have said yes, that have made the decision to invest in themselves. We're going to start bright and early. Well, not early, but bright Monday. And we're going to have our meet and greet on Sunday. If you know you're supposed to be with us, if you know you need to be accountable, you know you need your life to change and you're ready. And Call to Clarity is not just about healing. It's about clarity. It's about courage. It's about confidence. It's about regaining the power of identity. You know, the scripture tells us when you seek God with your whole heart, you will find him. And I believe that's the reason why he had me name this course called ED to Clarity. That means God has already sent the call out. Will you answer? And I think many of you have been called already to clarity, but you need to say yes. And so if you know that you need to be in the class with us, No Woman Left Behind Cohort 10, we're going to start Monday. Registration is going to be closed on Monday at 12 noon, but you need to go ahead and get your seat. When it fills up, we're going to close it up. If you need to take the refresher, if you're watching me and you're a graduate, I've sent out the refresher links to you guys. If y'all know you need to be in there, you need a divine reset, you just need community, you need strength, you need even more of the word, you need to forgive, you need to come into a bigger release. Listen, you need to make sure that you're there and you get enrolled. We're going to have a meet and greet on Sunday at 7 o'clock, and everybody's going to meet each other. I've already sent out the invites to the people that have enrolled, and so they're already in the group getting acclimated with each other. And so I want you guys to encourage you guys to do that. This is the year of release. It's the year of release. It's the year that you release things from you. Now, this is the prophetic word that God gave me in December. This is the year that you release things from you, out of you, away from you, okay? Things that you've held on to, things that you have carried, baggage from your bondage. Over years, ancient doors need to be closed. You know, things that you don't want to have to deal with anymore. You finally have to deal with it in this season. God said he's going to release those things away from you. Okay. He's going to give you the tools. And in this course, that's what I do. I help people find strategies, and we give you strategies to help you heal from your past, from the lies that have been told to you, and to release and replace. Okay. We not only release, but we replace. And then release is also going to come to you. In other words, when you release things from you and you let go of the weight, the scripture says, let go of the weight and the sin that so easily besets you and run the race with patience. When you let go of the weight, then God releases new rhema to you. He releases words of clarity. He releases things that you need to do next to you. God can't release things to you until you release some things away from you. And I'm telling you, I'm going to back this up with scripture. The scripture says that in the word, Jesus says that if we want to be forgiven, we first have to forgive others. And so release allows us to let go and to open up our hands and our hearts and really finally exhale and let go of those things that have been robbing us of what God is trying to speak to us. Because what happens is when we release, our ears and our eyes and our hearts open up to receive what God has been trying to speak to us all the time. And so God begins to release things to us. So with release comes the ability to hear again, comes the ability to see in the spirit. A lot of times people tell me, prophets, I start dreaming again. Right, because now you've released those old things, those old doors have been closed, and now God can give you a new thing. The scripture says, behold, I do a new thing. But that's the reason why he's doing a new thing, is because he's telling you to let go of the old. And so then God releases things to you. And then the last release comes out of you. And I believe that people have books, podcasts, schools like me, businesses that they need to give birth to. But the reason why they can't give birth to it God's way, the kingdom way, is because they're still holding on to things that they don't know how to let go of. And so release away from you, release things from you. God releases to you the thing, the nugget, the idea, so you can innovate, and then release comes out of you to bless the masses. And so that's how you live the release life, the life of release. And that's why I continue to innovate. That's why I'm a creative. You know why? Because I stay in release. As soon as something happens to me, I release it. God releases more to me, and then I release it out of me. And so that's how I'm able to do the things that I do, because I live a life of release. So if you know that you need to be in release, and you know you need to take Call to Clarity, come on in with us. No Woman Left Behind. We got a couple of slots left. I got the binders here ready to send out, and we're going to start fresh Monday. Y'all don't want to miss it. Remember, turn your no's into yeses. And if you can't, and you think that, you know what, I just need to think about this a little. Listen, you got 2 days. You got 2 days to think about it. We are closing enrollment on Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so 11 o'clock Central. All right. Remember, don't continue to wait, because your waiting keeps you wanting. I'll see you guys. Those of you, I see some of the graduates on here. I'll see some of you guys in the chat, in the group in Call to Clarity. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see you guys and get started with a new cohort, No Woman Left Behind. I will see you guys later. Bless you.